So, today, we're diving into a powerful concept. What does it truly take to become a respected leader in a company?
Right. And we're focusing on how not just the title, but the actual journey and mindset of a leader shape their influence.
Exactly. A good leader isn't just someone who holds a position, but someone who constantly works to improve. It starts with understanding that being a CEO or a manager is a learning process. You don't instantly become a true leader just by having the title.
That's a really important point. You mentioned earlier that the role of a leader isn't just about being in charge, it's about cultivating the right skills. The idea that just because you're the boss doesn't mean you're ready to lead is key.
Absolutely. The mindset here is crucial. Think of a new CEO. Just because they've started the company, it doesn't mean they're actually a CEO yet. They're still learning, especially about leadership. They need to study and grow into the role.
So it's like you're always preparing to be a better version of yourself as a leader. And it's not just for a few months. In fact, for positions like a department head, it takes years of studying and growing before they can truly succeed.
Exactly. If you become a department head today, you're not immediately qualified to lead a team. You might have the title, but it's the 3 years of learning and development that will prepare you to truly excel.
That time is crucial. In those 3 years, you don't just perform the job, you learn the depth of the role. And during that period, you have to think of yourself as a student in a very real sense.
Yes, and this applies not only to department heads, but also to anyone in a leadership role. The higher you go, the more responsibility you have. But that responsibility comes only after years of learning, reflecting, and building your skills.
Right. There's a saying, a person who earns an annual salary should be producing results over the year, not just monthly. A person in a high paying role must bring high quality work over the long term, not just short term results.
And the deeper lesson here is about not just doing your job, but mastering it. When you reach those higher positions, it's not about the day-to-day grind. It's about what you can achieve in the long run. That's how a leader truly proves their value.
That's so true. So, if we're aiming to create long lasting results, it means more than just trying to be successful today. You have to build a foundation, and that foundation takes years of consistent effort. It's about understanding the bigger picture.
And that's what a lot of people miss. They think that once they've earned their title, they can relax. But leadership is about constant growth. As the saying goes, growth doesn't stop at the top.
Speaking of growth, a leader's growth isn't just about themselves, it's also about how they nurture and guide their team. A leader who doesn't take care of their employees, who doesn't truly invest in their growth, won't see respect in return.
Exactly. It's about fostering a sense of mutual respect. Leaders who think they're superior without showing care for their employees are missing the mark. It's a partnership where both sides grow together.
That's a good point. Leaders need to act as mentors, guiding their employees, not just managing them. And it's the same for employees. They need to understand that growth doesn't just come from doing the minimum, it comes from commitment, effort, and continuous improvement.
Right. When both leaders and employees understand their roles and responsibilities, and when they respect each other, that's when real progress happens. It's all about mutual respect and trust.
So let's think about the future. With all this in mind, what do you think companies need to do to foster this type of environment?
It starts with leadership. Companies need to create cultures where leaders lead by example, where they don't just demand respect, but earn it through their actions. It's also crucial to focus on developing employees' skills over time, not just paying them more to keep them happy.
That's the key: development, respect, and continuous learning. The future of business leadership is not about quick wins, but about steady, long term progress. And if both leaders and employees can adopt this mindset, they'll be on the path to success.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, it's about creating a legacy of respect, hard work, and shared success. Leadership isn't just about the title, it's about the journey.
And that's the challenge for all of us in leadership positions. It's a responsibility to not just guide the company, but to grow with it. If we forget that, we're only going to see short term success, not lasting impact.
Well said. Let's hope more leaders begin to embrace this perspective, not just for their own benefit, but for the benefit of their teams and organizations as a whole.
Absolutely. Leadership is about giving more than just orders. It's about setting an example, caring for your team, and being in it for the long haul. Let's leave that thought with our listeners today. Thanks for this insightful conversation.
And thank you. Until next time.